What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. I think I'm live. I'm live. Am I live? I'm not sure. Am I live? Check, check. Yo. All right. Seems I'm live again. I will get this more efficient, guys. Eventually. I seem to just go live and no, I'm live, but hey, here I am. PC says, yo, what's up? What is up? Let me quickly tweet this. Day 2, guys. Day 2 of going live with NFT news, information, discussion. All right, seems I'm live again. Let me quickly tweet this. Live on YouTube for 30 minutes. All right. Good to see you guys. Demo6562. Hey, Matt L. Hey, what's going on? Another Matt. How are we doing? I've got a 2-monitor setup over here. One on this side, which you guys cannot see, and one over here. One day I really have to show you my room setup. Super proud of it. Took a while to set up. Good old Michael and Jeremy from the Medikey team really helped me put the gear together. I've got this really cool mic. It's a Shure. I don't even know. I don't even know half the stuff in this room. It's just set up and it works really well. Anyway, what's going on? Good evening. Ishida is back. Hopefully you can stick around for a little bit longer, Ishida. This goes for 30 minutes, so hopefully that sits well in your zone. We'll wait maybe a couple of minutes, guys, before we get into it. Gilson, is that Gilson Kitano? Hey, Matty, good evening. Good evening. Good morning here in Melbourne. It's 8 a.m. fresh. Rolled out of bed about an hour ago. Yesterday, I did pretty well. I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was like, you know what? I'm going to smash out social and got up at 5 a.m., did my tweeting, did my YouTube content, made a TikTok. Did a bunch of stuff, right? And then today I was super tired, and then I ended up waking up at 7 a.m., which wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm trying to do the 5 a.m. mornings. If you can master the 5 a.m. mornings, I truly feel you'll be productive in no matter what you do. That's really been hard for me, but let's see if I can get it going. Fraser, good morning. Iman, or Iman, hey, how are you? Good morning from CA. Is that Canada or is that a state? Or is that California in US? Good morning. All right, guys, we might as well get started. These go for about 35 minutes. I try to make them short and sweet. Don't want them to go for more than 45 minutes to an hour, because then it starts to get a bit too long for myself. All right. We'll sort of say good mornings to everyone else that join in while we go through this content. So, first little piece over here. OpenSea seems to be going through some upgrades, which is great. They've raised a ton of money. I think they've got like at least $500 million in the treasury, if not more. The amount of royalties plus capital raises they've done, plus OpenSea being OpenSea, I can't imagine how much capital they have reserved to make this platform better. And what they did, which is a little bit annoying, is when I click on the activity tab, they've removed this beautiful graph that used to be there. I'm sure you guys used to use this as well, right? But this graph was freaking amazing, because it would tell you over 90 days, each bar would be volume, right? So you can be like, oh, well, there seems to be an event over here, a volume event over here. There seems to be a volume event over here. There seems to be continuous buying going on here, which seems to be continuously bringing the price up. And if you checked it over here, you see that it seems to be coming off some piece of news. So when you're investigating a new project, there was like 30 pieces of information you could tell by just this graph. And when you look in OpenSea, they've removed it. And if you click on analytics in the beta version, there seems to be one that only spans 30 days or 7 days. Like, give me a 90-day. Give me a 90-day option. That's the gold. 90 days is the gold. So a bit annoying, I have to admit. All these are really good pieces of information, but OpenSea, what they had before was the perfect amount of information, I felt. Where straight away on their activity, I mean, they had like the volume, they had the sales, the floor price, all of this was much easier digested when it was on the activity tab. Maybe that's just me right now because this change is, you know, when something changes, you're not used to it. So maybe it's just me. But hey, I need something 90 days long. So I hope OpenSea bring that back. 90 days is important to understand the depth of something, right? Much of these projects, like if you go to say any of these projects, right, ranking on OpenSea, these top projects for the last 24 hours, there's probably a handful that I recognize. Actually, no. How do I go for the last 24 hours only? Well, must be the last 24 hours. But there's a lot of new ones, right? And these new ones, like if I'm not able to dial it back 90 days, then I will have no idea how the project performs. Because every project does really well on launch, but does it do well long term? Anyway, let's see what happens. I hope they bring it back. I put a tweet out there. Let's see if I can get their attention, or we can get their attention. Let's hope they bring these things back. But hey, OpenSea has to go through some changes. So let's see. I think a lot of their capital gets spent making sure their platform is stable enough to bring the revenue. I'm pretty sure that was their primary goal, is to make sure that whatever volume comes in, however many traders come in, the website doesn't crash. If the website experienced downtime, that would be the biggest loss for OpenSea. But now we're in the bear market. Now it's time to build. They won't have as much traffic to stabilize. So hopefully they can, make things better. All right. Another thing I wanted to go through, guys, is a bit of Elon Musk, but let's go through that a bit later. But a few days ago, October 27th, so actually 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks ago, I made this massive tweet thread. And if you guys can tell, I've actually muted the amount of likes, comments, and retweet numbers on my tweets. So if you look at my tweets, you see you can't actually see how many people liked or quoted or retweeted this. You see plenty of people that quoted these tweets, but you can't see any numbers, right? And I did that because numbers make me judge what's popular on Twitter. And sometimes when I tweet, I judge myself and I'm like, oh, Matty, that wasn't a popular thread, blah, 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 blah. So I've decided to remove that so my mind can be a little bit less stressed on myself, less pressured on myself, and I can also judge content that hits my feed more fairly. If I like it, I will interact with it and I'll quote it and I'll retweet it, I'll comment on it. But what happens in your mind, I'm not sure if it happens to you guys, but I'm trying to be transparent here. But what happens in my mind when I start to see likes and numbers is that you start to judge content straight away. You're like, oh, this is popular because everyone else thinks it's popular. Oh, this is not popular because no one thinks it's popular. So you don't engage in it that much, right? So all these conversations happen in your head. And I think it's the counts, they trigger this stuff in my mind. So anyway, I've got this really cool plugin over here. It's called Twitter. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Demetricator? Demetricator. This is metric. Demetricator. No shit. Okay. So it's a Twitter demetricator. And hey, it works pretty well so far. I like it. I like it. Even if I check my notifications, I can see that there's stuff coming in, comments coming in, but I can't see my likes and retweets. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it's been 5 minutes and I've only got 3 likes. None of that conversations happen in my heads anymore. And it happens, I think it happens to like every influencer or everyone that makes content for creators. Like they judge their content heavily based on whether it gets popular or not. It's really annoying. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is what it is. All right. Let's keep going. So I want to go through this thread, 14 NFT projects categories that I think will appreciate tremendously in the coming decade. the premise of this NFT thread, and honestly, I've never made a thread like this before. I very rarely put my thoughts out there in my long-term bets. And why? Because I'm hesitant. I don't want to influence the market. You know, previously in the bull market, I'd say something, and some people with like over 50,000 followers can say something, and everyone rushes there to buy, and then it drops in price, and then you feel bad, blah blah blah. But now it's a bear market; no one gives a shit. So I put out this thread, and if you see here, some of the notable artists or projects, you've got Grifters by X Copy. So again, the premise is some of these NFT projects that I think will last a very long time, that will appreciate over a very long period of time. So whether it be 10 years or more, right? Just a quick skim. You got X Copy Grifters. There's only 666 of these, I believe. You got the Nakamoto card, which is the first ever. This is the first ever Nakamoto card. There's only 300 of them, 299 because one's been burnt. You got Chromie Squiggles, which ended up going crazy. Like 3 days after a week after I posted this, the floor became 17 ETH. I have 0. Stupid me. Could have made 4 ETH a piece on that. CryptoPunks, I've got 0 of them. Fiden's, what's it called? Autoglyphs. You got Reddit avatars, influencer NFTs from the ones that will continue to create content over a long period of time. I think one thing that's made this bear market or a bit clear is influencers and social, those that are social heavy, and continuously bring interest and faith into the NFT projects. They could be doing nothing with the NFTs, but as long as they're social crazy, then their NFTs seem to go up. So, you know, I think over a long period of time, some of these influencers will go from 50,000 followers to 1 million to 10 million followers, and who knows what's going to happen to the NFT projects, right? You got historical projects. I didn't really want to call out any specific historical projects because there's just so many here, and some new ones keep popping up. Then you got Bored Apes, or some of the avatar projects that have over $100 or $200 million to build. Like, you would think that that's enough money to put into an ecosystem to make sure that their avatar projects go up in value, and the fact that they get good royalties. I've got some second tier ones. I don't really want to call them second tier, but ones that aren't on my radar at least, but other people sort of put them as blue chips. The Doodles, Moonbirds, Azuki, like these are in the top 10 all-time volume ever traded. I'm going to retract those words of second tier, right? I never said that. But these are in the all-time top 10 volumes in ever. Like above DCL, it's been around for like 5 years. Above the Sandbox, been around for 5 years. Freaking Azuki is double that of DCL. That's freaking insane to me. That's insane to me. Anyway, so those that have been able to go up to, you know, have a lot of volume and therefore have a lot of royalty exchange hands, brings good cash flow. You got your Beeple, Beeple, the first gen. So like the first 100 pieces that he released, he sold these for $1 each. I think these will appreciate in time because as Beeple goes and becomes more and more popular, and his art gets collected by more people. He's got multiple different sets, but these will always be the first. So one common theme in all of these is age, right? Whether it be ENS domains, even ENS domains. So some of these, the ones with numbers, seem to go for a lot as well. So some with like just 3 numbers seem to go like 50 ETH now. So what I like to do is I sort of like to take, I sort of like to wait till time tells me what's good, right? And I'm okay to miss the boat. I'm okay to miss the boat if that means that my money, when I put it in to some of these projects, will go up a little bit more slowly than it would have if I put it at the start. The problem with putting all your money into projects that are all startups and new and fresh and all have exciting ideas is like 99% of them fail, right? If you have $1,000, hypothetically, you put $10 on 100 projects, 2 of them do good, then you're going to lose $900, $980, right? You're going to lose $980 at 10 or 20. Those two $10 that might become something big. And literally what happens during a bull market, I can count on my hand, the fingers on my hands are enough to count how many projects survived the bear market so far, right? Many of them failed and became nothing. So like for me, I might make a tweet about this, but I sort of follow this 80-20 rule where 20% of my capital goes on high risk assets. Right? I don't know what the hell I'm doing with them. I'm just throwing them around. Some of these projects might go on to become big, but I don't know. I don't know. Like they have all the check marks ticked, but they could still turn to crap because they just don't have enough age in them to be secure, right? And then 80% of my money, about 60 to 80% of my money, goes into really stable stuff, and it's in the NFT space, so there's still high risk, right? But it's stable. It's stable in the sense of it's art that's been around for a while. It's historical projects that will age well in time. It's avatar projects that I think will have hundreds of millions of dollars to build, and therefore will go on and build really good. So that's how I've sort of allocated my money. What I used to do at the start was put 20%, would put 100% of my money in just high risk stuff. And a lot of people new to crypto would do this, right? A lot of people new to crypto put 100% of their money in what their friends tell them to put in because it's going to pump in 2 days. And that's why a lot of newbies into crypto and NFTs lose a shit ton of money. And that's what happened to me when I first started in 2017. I actually did end up making money. Actually, no, I didn't end up making any money because I never cashed out. But my portfolio went from like 20K to 180K, then dropped back down to 20K, right? But what did happen was I just kept like moving from one project to another project. I was like, oh, this one's gonna pump, that one's gonna pump. I could just take all my money and put it over there. And it was like just one big like Russian roulette. It was like a matter of time until I would have lost it all, right? So took a more strategic approach, started to break down the space, and ever since I did that, since 2018, I've been able to consistently grow my portfolio. And every now and then I hit on a unicorn. And I'm happy with that. At least I don't risk my money and go back to zero, right? That reset is a killer. It takes away years of your progress. You put your money into something, it goes to zero. You put your money into a project and there's no liquidity. You can't pull it out. Whatever I put into NFT project, I always make sure that it's just a small portion of my overall wealth, right? Just a few. I thought I'd share a bit of that because it's very valuable being here for 4 to 5 years, guys. Here to 4 to 5 years, you can't help but start being a degen, like an ultimate degen, and throw your money around because the dreams are so real. The fact that you could potentially retire, pay off your house, buy the best things that you could ever afford. If this specific token 100x's, right, in your mind, in your dreams, it's 100xing, right? So you can't really navigate the risk reward ratio that well. But over time you can, because you start to get a bit more realistic. So just sharing some of that really did help me. Just be a little bit strategic. Survival and stability is what keeps you here long term. And all you need is like 1 or 2 projects in the year, right? A lot of people think that they missed the boat. That sucks. Like I feel down about it. I never feel down about it because there's always like a new project every week, right? All you need is just say 1 or 2 projects a year. And in 5 years, you'll change your freaking life. That's the space we're in, where the returns, when you do hit upon something, can change your life circumstances. And you don't need to hit on one every month. You need to hit on, say, 2 to 3 per year. That was enough for me. 4 years of that, and a 5th year where the bull market hits and everything goes even more crazy was totally enough. Just patience for me has been key. All right, enough of that. But yeah, these are the ones that I think will do well. You notice that a lot of them are old. They've been around for 4 to 5 years. Xcopy was one of the first person to ever upload a GIF in the NFT space. Right? And Nakamoto was from the Rare Pepe collection, which was pre-CryptoPunks back on the Bitcoin chain. And people are trading this. In fact, when I made this thread, someone had just bought one for 95 Ethereum. So, and then Chromie Squiggles was from Art Blocks, the first collection ever. Generative art absolutely is going to be a big thing. It's not my cup of tea. Like I personally don't buy generative art. I've never understood it. I feel like I'm in the phase of generative art exploration as I was in just traditional art, where I didn't know how it worked, but I knew there was legs in there, and I sort of forced myself to go learn. I was like, Matty, you don't know what's going on here. Everything looks weird and crazy. The people are spending this much money on art. But you need to figure it out, man, because people are spending good money here, and there's obviously something working. So I feel like I need to do some exploration with art blocks. I might just buy some random art blocks drops because yeah, I need to understand generative art, right? Anyway, so yeah, a lot of things that have taken their time now. This is interesting. All right, this is a hit and miss. I did this at a time where the reason why I included Reddit NFTs in this is because I wanted to make this whole thread about a week ago. And I was tracking Reddit NFTs and I was like, this thing is going to blow up. This thing is definitely going to blow up. It's been going on for 3 to 4 months. People are continuously buying it. These are pretty much the first NFTs of Reddit. And then it blew up and I was like, oh no, Matt, you got to definitely put it in this thread. But ever since I did this, the sales volume has dropped quite a lot. The prices haven't dropped, but the sales volume have dropped. It's interesting because yes, Reddit is a platform. Okay, yes, Reddit is a platform, big platform. It's a social platform. It's one that avatars will definitely go on to do its thing. But Twitter is where traditionally, when you say something, NFT volume has gone that way, right? Is Reddit the same? When someone makes a Reddit post, do people go from there to OpenSea to buy NFTs? That's good. I'm curious to see if that happens. So this is still going to be on my radar. I still have a ton of these. I'll hold them. I bought a lot of Reddit avatars that have 100 supply, right? So very quickly, if you've been hearing Reddit avatars and you don't know what the hell to do, let me just quickly break it down how it works. So Reddit has released, this is a bit confusing. Honestly, it's a bit confusion. It's a little bit confusing. By the way, guys, if you like this YouTube live, smash the like button, right? Because the more you do that, the more people can join, which is great. And I'm going to keep doing this every single day for 2 weeks straight. And then I'm going to assess whether or not I'm going to continue Matty live streams, Mattyverse live streams. So far, so good, right? I'm enjoying talking to you guys. It's kind of chill. It's not that long. I'll be finishing in about 15 minutes. All right, so there's all these things going on with Reddit, Reddit NFTs. What the heck is all this? Let me open another one. So Reddit NFTs art. Actually, no. Go to Reddit floor. So that's another one. And then reddit.com. Okay, so these 3 are the main ones that I look at. If I click here, actually, let me just quickly go to where's details, shopping for more avatars. Okay, the first time I came across Reddit avatars was this. I was like, oh, I didn't know Reddit had avatars. And then I was like, what is this? How do I make sense of all this stuff, right? So I went to it seems like you can customize your avatar for free to do all of this stuff, and they've got their partnerships with superheroes and all sorts of things, and you can just kind of customize your avatar for free. But you can go to the shop, and the shop has about so this was the first set of creators that were chosen to make the first limited run NFTs, right? So you can see here, Stutter, Hoppy Doodle, Onav, System 32, Eric Hagen. They've all made avatars, right? So they all had their own shot at making their own avatar collection. And these avatar collections, I think they total a max 1,500 or 1,800. So you can see here, there's 500 of these, 100 of these, 100 of these, 1,000 of these, 150 of these, and that's it, right? The more? I don't know what's going on here. Why I can't go to the right? Anyway, yeah. So each one seemed to have a shot at creating their own collections, but they were max able to mint about 1,800 per collection, and some of these had about 100 supply in here. So you can see here, this Cheeky Beak has 100 supply, right? You've got here, Red Bat. It's got 100 supply. You've got, what else you got here with 100 supply? You've got this one over here, the Hands with 100 supply. And some of these artists are actually pretty damn popular. They're pretty big. So if you go to this guy here, Rojom or Rahom, hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm probably butchering that name. These guys are pretty damn popular artists, right? You go to their Instagram, you go to their Twitter, and you're like, holy shit. Well, you can't even see their follow accounts, but some of these profiles are like some very good artists that have a ton of followership. There's 26,000 upvotes, 187 comments. Some of these artists were sort of handpicked to make their collection. So they were gone up for their art value, but they've also gone up for the supply count. So you see if in the top 10, if you go to redditfloor.com, you can see those specific avatars have gone up, right? The ones with 100 supply. So you can see the ones that are the most valuable are the ones with 100 supply because they're scarce. So those are the ones that have gone to the top. So 100 supply, 100 supply, 100 supply. Maybe I'll zoom into this a little bit so you guys can see it clearly. 100 supply. They all started at $99, but now I've gone crazy, right? So 3.9 ETH is the floor. 2.15 was the recent sale. So you can see there's the difference between the two. You can also see the difference between the recent sale. So the recent sale was a day ago. This recent sale was 12 hours ago. This recent sale was a week ago. It's been a week since there's been a sale here. So some of these, the volume is drying up. But yeah, but because there's low supply, they sort of become collector, right? So what I ended up doing was going in and trying to figure out which ones had the lowest supply and buying those. So I bought a lot of these at pretty much half the price they are now. The only exception that I had was a few. This one was interesting because it was an alt account, and this person seemed to have made only oops. Yeah, that person seemed to, that was the only artist in the whole collection that had only one avatar in the set. You see how everyone's got multiples? He's got only one avatar in the set of 200. So I was like, oh, that's unique. So when I'm looking at new collections, I'm looking at supply. I'm looking at the creator. I'm looking at the uniqueness. What's unique? Is it unique because of the art? I'm also looking at things that I personally like. Do I like it? I liked Cheeky Beak. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked Wildfire Demon. I thought that was pretty cool. So some I bought because I liked it. Some I bought because of the uniqueness. Like this one's gone nuts because everyone thinks it looks amazing. This one's like, although it's a series of 600, I think the floor is like 1 ETH. That one's gone a bit crazy. So when you go to OpenSea, there's a bunch of different collections. These orange ones are the first generation of collections, right? These black ones are like the next release is the spooky season. It released in like October or something. These all released in July, August. And these are the ones that have released much, that have reached much of the high prices. This one here was actually released before anyone, but there's 4 of them. And this was like the Crypto Snoo collection. They're all unique 1-of-1s. These are pretty much the holy grails. If you get one of these, then holy shit, you've got like the only 1-of-1. The 4 of the only 1-of-1s in the whole Reddit series. So people ignore this because these are sort of out of reach for much of the community. So they sort of don't see that as a gen release. They see this as the gen release, right? So that's how OpenSea has broken down the Reddit avatars. Again, it's a bit complicated, but yeah, it's interesting. All right. I can't say your name, but you said, I don't even read the chat and say hi. I actually said hi for the first 5 to 10 minutes, was talking with you guys. So I try to go through my content and then talk with you guys. Let me know if you guys want me to talk with you guys more often. I will. I find myself, if I talk with you guys too much, I get carried away and then my content doesn't get shared. And then suddenly it becomes an hour and I haven't gone through much of this. So I try and, do a few articles and I talk with you guys again. Let's see what you guys have said. Wolf Game is interesting. I've seen it pop up on my radar a few times. I need to really dig deep into it. I almost need to hire someone to look into some of these projects for me because I don't have the time, right? I don't have the time, but the investigations are definitely worth it. Because hey, I could make 50 to 100 ETH sometimes if I pick the right project. Nebula says, what's up? What's going on? Do you think CloneX will be blue chip long term? The thing about blue chips is, the good thing about artistic and historically significant and pivotal blue chips is that time will always age them well, right? Whether it be CryptoPunks that now have reached their blue chip status or whatever, if there's been 5 or 6 years of a project in existence, they've already reached they're the first in their category, and therefore if it's 10 years, 20 years or 50 years, they will be a big deal. The thing with CloneX and these projects that have been around for say a year or two, they're still very dependent on the founders in delivering on stuff that the people love. So the question whether I think CloneX will be blue chip long term is really do I have a faith in the founders delivering a project of value over the next 10 to 15 years? And I would say they've got the community backing to have a very good chance of that. But there's always a risk that the founders may not do the right decisions, right? So yeah, I think it's a yes, it's maybe. I'll be watching their actions quite closely. Mostly how they'll be reacting to things. So if things go wrong, will they be bouncing back? Those are the things that keep things going for a very long time. What do you think happens when ETH goes 3 digits? Moon mode for NFTs. So 3 digits, so under $1,000. I think there'll be a little bit of panic in the NFT scene, where there'll be some people that need to exit their positions ASAP because they just, they've put too much money. They need to exit, so the floor will drop, but the floor will be thin. That's normally happened in events where it's gone up real quick or down real quick. People, there's a maybe 1% of people within the collection will try and dump their assets, but then over long term, once even if ETH goes under $1,000, it reaches a stability where it's hanging around $800 for maybe 3 months, 4 months, then NFTs will go nuts again, right? But long term, every NFT project that will be here for a very long time, every person that buys an NFT and then holds it long term, that's a new entrant that has now become a long term holder, right? So the NFTs, they need to exit from like weak hands, you can say weak hands, to stronger hands, and that happens over a long term. So I think in the immediate term they will drop, but in the long term they will go crazy again. I'm not concerned at this stage anymore. Look, ETH has dropped from $4,000 down to like $1,000 almost. It's gone down 75%. So the people that are here are definitely less shaky than the ones that were here, 6 months ago. So if ETH were to drop to even $500, like, I'm personally just going to leave my assets as is. I might cash out a little bit just to save myself some money, but I'm here for much of these projects to deliver long term. They could go back to, like, if they go down, they could go again, like, because ETH has gone down, they may go up in ETH value a bit more quicker, right? So in 6 months after a drop, they may go up in ETH value very quickly. If you compare Ethereum to Bitcoin, it really isn't decentralized. What's your take on this as a project founder? I am not into, look, I'll be honest with you, my strong suit is not tech. It is not understanding technical limitations. I do understand it for projects. Ethereum, as far as I understand it, by far is the most stable, is the most secure when it comes to decentralized, kind of the decentralized nature of holding it up than anything else, just because of the number of people that run nodes on it, right? Now, compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin just doesn't have the tools to efficiently release products. They don't even have a freaking NFT marketplace. So why would I use Bitcoin chain to release anything, right? Because the developer tools aren't there to support an NFT project. You can't build on an ecosystem. The ecosystem doesn't exist on Bitcoin. I don't know why the developers or people within the Bitcoin ecosystem, even though there's plenty of NFT OG projects on Bitcoin, they don't build an ecosystem around it. But for Ethereum, they have, right? They've even done Immutable X or Polygon, the scaling solutions. Even they've got their own ecosystems. There are multiple projects here. You start to feel a little bit more secure when it comes to other projects that are existing on here. Companies have spent billions of dollars in this space. There's just so much. There's many multi-billion-dollar projects that exist on Ethereum. It makes you feel secure in launching with them because you feel the industry will find solutions as a whole. So yeah, I find it to be, I find it to be secure for me. I need to start setting an alarm for the stream. Yeah, you do. So 8 a.m. Melbourne times, guys. 8 a.m. Melbourne time, 4 p.m. EST. I think it's 9 p.m. London time. You can have NFTs on Bitcoin Layer 2, which are way more secure. They are marketplaces like Carnival, which runs on RSK sidechain. Interesting. I didn't know that. We'll take a look. I'm like half blind right now, so I can't read these comments. Let me just zoom in. Okay, that's better. There you go. That's better. You can have NFTs on Bitcoin blockchain. Yeah, but Bitcoin does have an NFT layer called Stacks. I think they've got a few. They had, as far as I know, they've got Counterparty. Right now, they got one called Stacks and DeFi. Can you bridge your assets from L2 to L1 on etc.? I don't know. That's one for the developers. To Maddie, thoughts on other side land plots? I don't have any. I just feel like there's just way too much supply over there. So other deed. Let's see. One lesson I learned, guys, from DCL, right? Decentraland taught me this lesson. And I will go to close the stream in a couple of minutes. Decentraland taught me that when there's too much supply, that the price will increase at a really slow pace. So Decentraland also had 90,000 plots, right? Or 45,000 plots. And we'd hold them, and for years or for months, they'd be the same price. And every now and then there'd be a whale that would come in and splurge like $2 million worth of property, and everyone would go nuts. And back then, $1 million would be freaking insane. Like if someone put $1 million into an NFT project, it would like triple the price. So there was moments of those. There was like 1 or 2 moments of those over the 3 years that I was in the Decentraland community buying and selling land. And it was only those moments where